What's going on, everybody? We're here with another round of spoilers. This is Guys at Magic. Today, it's going to be myself, Dave, and then Shane. Shane, say what's up.
What's up, nerds?
So we are here today on Halloween talking about some Brothers War spoilers. Do us a huge favor. Make sure that you like this video. Also subscribe. We're going to be bringing you more content every single day as more cards get spoiled for this set. So today what we're going to be doing, just talking about some of the rares and mythic cards that ended up getting spoiled. And then we're going to dive in and talk about some of the blueprints as well. But with that being said, let's go ahead and start it off.
Do it.
First card here is Rootpath Purifier. This is 3 and a green for a total of 4. It's a creature elf druid. It's a 3/4. And it says lands you control and land cards in your library are basic.
Tell me
What
why
are your
this is
thoughts on
bad.
this? It's my job to tell you why this is bad.
Because I don't think it's bad. I'm just wondering if you're gonna tell me it's bad.
I don't think that it's bad. I just don't know if this is good.
I know that Steven was stoked about this because he's like, oh, no, it was Hunter actually. Go and you can like have Evolving Wilds, get any card, right?
I mean, you can. So like it helps some of like the weird effects of like go find a basic land. Like you can now go grab anything so long as this thing is in play. My problem is like dedicated land decks in Commander typically already have like a ton of really good effects to be able to just go grab a card,
Yeah, that's true.
or be able to go grab like a card with a basic land type. So for example, you could go like grab a forest, and then using that ability, you can go and grab like a shock or something like that. So I don't know if this is actually good enough to take up a spot in the 99.
But what about like a domain situation?
So that's the thing that's weird about this card is that your lands are basic. They don't have basic land types though, so that
Oh.
doesn't work.
Oh, it
So like
doesn't?
if you have a forest, let's do this. If you have a shock land in play, that shock land is now considered to be a basic land, but it doesn't gain any additional basic land types.
Oh, true.
So that's why I feel like this card is like really weird. It looks on the surface like it might actually be doing something that's pretty powerful. It's just like whenever I try to think of where am I going to play this, I'm not sure if I actually have a home, even in a dedicated land ramp deck.
That is true.
All right, that wraps up my thoughts on this card. You want to move on to the next?
Yeah, I really don't have like I said, I thought that it'd be cool to go and it makes your Evolving Wild better, but I mean at that point it's Evolving Wild, so you can move on.
All right, so next up we have Terisian Mindbreaker. This is a gigantic 7 mana. It's an artifact creature, Juggernaut. It's a 6/4, and it says whenever it attacks, the defending player mills half their library rounded up. It's also got Unearth for 1 and 3 blue, or a total of 4.
Dude, I feel like Steven is gonna definitely play with this card.
No, I'm actually really disappointed he wasn't able to make it for our recording for this. I
know.
definitely, this is right up his alley.
Yeah. Like the 7 mana seems like a steep starting cost, but if you can just dump it in your library, dump it into your graveyard, now you're only paying 4. Granted, it's 3 blue pips, so that's kinda, you can't really splash for this, I'd imagine.
No, probably not. But I mean, if you are going to be playing in a mill deck, chances are you're probably going to be playing blue anyways.
What? Are you serious?
At the same time, however, I feel like this is really weird. So it's natural 7 mana, just like to get this thing in play, is really late. And it's a 6/4 that still has to attack to do anything. The 4 toughness here actually really kind of scares me. I don't think this card is going to be able to get in a whole lot of times. And if you mill your opponents like half of their library, that actually still doesn't get you any closer to killing them. Like you have to mill the entire deck.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean this mixed with other mill cards that already exist, right? That mill half or a shit ton can almost get you there, but yeah, it doesn't really, like theoretically you'd want this to attack twice, right?
I mean, even if you attack twice, so assume that you get this thing in play, you've ramped it up, or you've been able to unearth it. If your opponent has like 50 cards in their library, if this thing attacks, they then have 25 cards. If you do manage to get this thing swinging in a second time, they have what, 12? And then 6, and then 3. Like,
yeah, that's true.
This is a 6 power creature. You're gonna kill him with combat damage first.
I mean, but you're also assuming that we should be playing other spells to also help mill opponents. So I think in conjunction they could be doing something. But like I said, and it's also only targets one player. Kind of is a bummer.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think this is gonna get there for me for standard. For EDH, I'm kind of in the same boat. Like I feel like this is a lot of mana for not that powerful of an effect.
That's
I mean, Keening Stone costs 1 less in this, and it doesn't die to creature removal, and it does the exact same thing.
Yeah, you know what? I guess you're right. I was originally just only thinking about it in EDH, which is far harder to mill people in EDH, so yeah.
All right, with that, we're going to move on to the next one. This is actually a really cool reprint. Super excited to see this in the set. This is Painful Quandary. It is 3 and 2 black for an enchantment. It says whenever an opponent casts a spell, that player loses 5 life unless they discard a card.
Yo, love it. And it's in standard? Dude.
Yeah, I definitely see, like, I don't know what's going on, but like mono black, I feel like has this thing where you could play Gix, you could play Shieldred, drop Painful Quandary in there. I know that we're talking about basically 1,000,000 mana at this point, but there are so many like punishing for draw and now discard or just like playing things that just, I feel like a mid-rangey black deck that is just super controlling is definitely in the making.
Dude, they have awesome removal right now too. Like they have everything. Black is going to be a threat in standard, which it already is.
Yeah, super excited to see this reprint, though. I mean, this was a card that was starting to creep up in price, and it can definitely be a haymaker in EDH, too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I run it in a couple discard decks, dude. And this new art is amazing.
Yeah, definitely love that. Next up here, we have Brotherhood's End. Brotherhood's End is 1 and 2 red for a total of 3 mana. It's a sorcery. It says choose 1. Brotherhood's End deals 3 damage to each creature and each planeswalker, or destroy all artifacts with mana value 3 or less. What are your thoughts on this?
I think this is actually good for standard, dude. More burn. I mean, not burn, I guess, because it's not the face, but creature removal and or in a set that's going to be almost all artifacts. This seems really good.
Yeah, I think so too. This is like a really, it's a much more flexible effect of like Anger of the Gods or what is it, Sweltering Sun that we've seen in the past. So being able to use that second mode to blow up your opponent's artifacts, especially given that this is such an artifact-heavy set, and this is going to be able to wipe out all of those tapped Power Stone tokens that your opponent's going to be creating. So I definitely think that this will almost guaranteed see some sideboard play in Standard. Really wouldn't surprise me if there is even like a control deck that might just be mainboarding this, though.
Yeah, I could see it. I mean, yesterday we saw the... I'm sorry that I don't remember the card name, but it was like 4 mana. It was green. You gave somebody a bear, and it destroyed all their enchantments or artifacts. This just seems better.
I mean, it doesn't hit everything, so this does cap at that 3 mana value, but I mean, for the most part, I think that's probably going to do a pretty significant amount of damage. I know that if you take this over to EDH, that's going to be probably all of their mana rocks that you're blowing up with this card. Yep. And then if you are going up against like a low to the ground, maybe like a token deck or something like that, the first ability on this is still pretty relevant. I know that for Standard's sake, we also do have Obnixilis, which is a pretty low to the ground planeswalker that sees a lot of play. And typically whenever he comes in, the copy that he makes of himself doesn't have that 3 loyalty. So this at least, like, I mean, you could potentially nuke their board and hit one of the planeswalkers with just this one effect.
Yeah, this is really good. Really good.
Next up, we have one with a multiverse. This is 6 and 2 blue, a total of 8 mana for an enchantment. It says you may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may play lands and cast spells from the top of your library. And once during each of your turns, you may cast a spell from your hand or the top of your library without paying its mana cost. This is like, I don't know, I want to say like a newer version of Omniscience, but this card is nuts.
It's like the stupid Bolas' Citadel, but you don't have to pay with life. That's pretty sick.
I mean, depending on when you do this, you don't have to pay at all.
Yeah. That 8 mana is going to be a steep cost to ride, but I'm sure someone will find a way to make this work. Especially in EDH.
Yeah, this is absolutely nuts. I mean, you're going to be able to cheat in something huge every single turn. And like, it's not card draw, but it is going to give you card advantage in that you can cast spells from the top of your library. So this is just going to help to make sure that you're going to be able to deploy a pretty significant threat consistently. 8 mana is basically like 1,000,000, so this is definitely something that like you're gonna have to work for, but huge effect on a huge card.
I agree, dude. I'll put it in my blue deck. Let's go.
Also, just looking at this card, is this like Urza getting his Planeswalker Spark? Is that what's going on here?
He's definitely ascending and doing something.
He's becoming one with the multiverse.
It's pretty awesome art so far. Like Hunter's mentioned a couple times, this set has been doing very well with art, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, dude. Who doesn't love giant smashy robots?
Yeah, the lore and the story has been amazing.
All right, we've got a land to talk about. This is Fortified Beachhead. It says, as Fortified Beachhead enters the battlefield, you may reveal a soldier card from your hand. Fortified Beachhead enters the battlefield tapped unless you reveal a soldier card this way, or you control a soldier. You can tap it to add either a white or a blue mana, and you can pay 5 and tap it, and soldiers you control get +1/+1 until end of turn.
So this seems like they're really trying to make a soldier deck, dude. I don't know if you saw the card we talked about yesterday. It was blue. It was a blue and white for a 3/2 with flying, and that it could give all your soldiers buffed up.
Absolutely. This is definitely like one of those cards that you're gonna see this and you're gonna like grab this in a draft and you're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna try to make soldiers work,
Yeah.
or this is just gonna be like an added bonus for you. I don't know. We could see a soldiers deck pop up here in standard, so really neat effect.
I feel like that would be amazing, and in the colors that I play, dude. So let's go.
It does definitely have me kind of curious. Are we going to potentially see maybe a cycle of these, a couple more of these cards? Maybe something that's going to go into like the Artificers or something for a different color pairing?
Yep.
I do believe that Hunter wants us to talk about how this works really well with Harbin, Vanguard, Aviator, which is a card that Shane was alluding to earlier.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't remember names. I'll describe the card to a T and then forget the name.
And it works, dude. All right, moving on. We've got Mechanized Warfare. This is 1 and 2 red for an enchantment. It says if a red or artifact source you control would deal damage to an opponent or permanent an opponent controls, it deals that much damage +1 instead.
We've seen this kind of effect before, and it's always pretty good in standard.
Yeah, most certainly so. I like this. I really like how it also hits for artifacts too. So if you are going to be playing like in a go wide strategy or just like deploying a lot of little threats, this can get pretty gnarly.
Yeah, dude. All your little like Thopters or whatever the hell you're making, they all deal for additional 1 damage.
Yeah, I'm here for it. I don't really know if there's a whole lot more to say past that point, but I'm definitely here for this card.
I think it'll see play. That's my closing thoughts.
All right, next up here we have Simian Simulacrum. Wow, that is a fun name to say. That is 3 mana for an artifact creature ape. It's a 2/1. It says whenever it enters the battlefield, put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature you control, and it has an unearth ability of 2 and 2 green.
An ape, dude.
It's a mechanized monkey, dude. This thing is mad.
This seems like a playable artifact creature, dude.
I mean, this is actually really solid. So you can put the 2 +1/+1 counters on itself. So play this for 3, you get a 4/3.
Yeah.
That seems pretty solid. I mean, I can definitely see like there is a green-red aggro deck shaping up for this set, so I can see this as seeing play there. The unearth ability as well, getting this thing to come back with haste and then putting 2 +1/+1 counters on another target, also pretty impactful. Yeah, this might be the 3-drop you're looking for your aggro deck.
Aggro Gruul, dude. I think we really
Gruul aggro.
Besides the Gruul legendary deck they had, I don't really think we've seen that before.
All right, next up here, we've got Siege Veteran. This is 2 and a white for a creature human soldier. It's a 2/2. It says at the beginning of combat on your turn, put +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Whenever another non-token soldier you control dies, create a 1/1 colorless soldier artifact creature token.
Well, there's some way to make soldiers. There we go.
Yeah, I like this. It replaces your soldiers, so it's just like, hey, you, next one up, let's go.
Yep. We were kind of worried, not worried, but Hunter and I were talking about like, well, how many soldiers are there really? Hopefully we'll show more soldiers. That deck could be very fun. It seems like a very crucial piece to go into it.
Yeah, I really love the first ability on this card as well. It's very similar to that of Luminarch Aspirant. So that was a card that definitely saw play in Standard. This one does cost more. I want to say that one costed 2, and this one does cost 3. But this one also does, of course, replace other soldiers whenever soldiers do die. And on top of that, I mean, it is also fitting into a lane, being the soldier tribal thing. So if there is a soldier stack, I can see this 100% being slotted in there.
Yes, this would be a 4 of hands down. Maybe even not a soldier deck too, just the +1/+1 combat on target creature you control. Like you said, Luminar Aspirant was so rampant in the format that I'm sure people will play it again.
Yeah, 100%. The last one of the cards we actually got for the Brothers War set got released as well. This is Tyrant of Kher Ridges. This is 4 and 2 red. It's a creature dragon. It's a 4/5 with flying. It says whenever it enters the battlefield, it deals 4 damage to any target. You can also pay a red and give it +1/+0 until end of turn.
Got fire breathing or whatever that shit's called, and
Does have fire breathing.
comes in and deals 4 damage. I feel like another dragon done that in the past. That was
I
a
think
pain
we've
in the
probably
ass.
seen both of these effects before.
Yeah. On different cards. Yeah, I think you're right.
So, I don't know. I mean, is this going to be good enough? It is a 4/5 with flying, which is a pretty decent body. I think this might actually be more so of just like a limited bomb, though, because it's got removal staple to it, and then your opponents are going to have to deal with this. Otherwise, they're just probably going to die.
Yeah, I would agree that it's probably better in limited, but this is all. I feel like this also could be on the top end of like a red deck in some area. I don't know. Not aggro so much because aggro curves out at like what 3. But
yeah, no, this would
something.
definitely if we're looking for red, I think this is more of like a big red deck.
Yeah, maybe a Gruul deck, dude. Shit.
I don't know, man. I really feel like Gruul's going to be very kind of low to the ground and incredibly aggressive with this set.
Right too. But I mean, hey, we got a dragon. Cool.
All right, that's not all that we have for you today, though. There were a ton of the blueprint cards that got spoiled. We're going to go ahead and just kind of dive a little bit into these. So we'll talk about these and then just kind of give our impressions over the artwork. All of these cards are going to be reprints. So wonderful to have all of them, but none of them necessarily adding anything new that you probably don't already know about. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to tell you the names of the cards. We'll go ahead and post them onto the YouTube video as well. That way you have a visual to go along with all of it. Seeing as how all of these are just reprints and we have a ton of them, I'm not going to read them card by card, but do us a favor, comment down below which of these is your favorite for the day, or which one is are you most excited to play with?
Yeah, I got one.
So the first one here that we have is Door to Nothingness. We also have Well of Lost Dreams, Psychosis Crawler, Scrap Trawler, Cloud Key, Sword of the Meek, Semblance Anvil, Quietus Spike, Astral Cornucopia, Mystic Forge, Blackblade Reforged, and Gilded Lotus.
Oh, they're gorgeous, David.
Shane, I already know which one is your favorite.
I know you do. You just say it. Tell me what it is.
It's got to be Gilded Lotus, right?
It is. It is 100% Gilded Lotus.
That card is so bad.
It's such a great playable card in EDH, David.
No, I'm not here for it. Even the artwork on this, like the artwork on all of these is definitely, it's all very interesting. Gilded Lotus, I feel like it's just a sketch with a little bit less color of the actual Gilded Lotus card, the one that we already have.
Well, yeah, they were sketching it in a sketchbook. I don't know. I'm definitely about that Gilded Lotus, but that Sword of the Meek, dude, is pretty freaking sick.
Yeah, that's definitely pretty dope. I'm definitely going to say that I have kind of two favorites here. The first one is Scrap Trawler because the card is a fucking menace and it's absolutely great. There's nothing that you're going to do with it that's not degenerate, so that's kind of right up my alley. The second one is Astral Cornucopia because we just had a conversation about cornucopias and about how Fruit of the Loom's logo does not include one. It's a really cool Mandela effect. So if you haven't checked that out, go Google Mandela effect. There's no cornucopia inside of Fruit of the Loom.
Everyone just literally stopped what they're doing to go Google this because they're like, oh yeah, I remember the cornucopia.
Exactly. See, we had a full-on conversation about this the other night. It's not there.
Well, I like them all too, Dave.
So that's going to be it for today. Today, once again, being Halloween. We'll be back with you tomorrow to bring you more spoilers as we head into November. Super excited to see what else we get from this set. If you haven't done so already, once again, just as a reminder, make sure you like and subscribe for this. Go ahead and comment down below. What was your favorite one of these blueprints or just favorite one of these cards in general? Did we misevaluate something? Or maybe we, I don't know, got something completely wrong? Let us know. What kind of busted shenanigans and other kind of crazy things are you going to do with Rootpath Purifier? Make sure that you follow us on our other social media platforms as well, on Twitter and on Instagram at Guys That Magic. And until next time, peace.
Bye-bye.